All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the greatest podcast on the earth. It's the only podcast where you hear Cena drop a pike bomb and your mom dropping her pants for us. Welcome back to the main event.
Oh my God.
Welcome back to episode 4 of the main event.
Wow.
I think I got
That was awesome.
Go big or go home, right?
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Main Event Mafia podcast. Of course, I am your host, Lakota Carter, Mr. Perfection, God's greatest creation, the gift of this generation. And I'm here with my two co-hosts. First, I got my main man, the underboss himself, John freaking Nippin.
What up?
And beyond him, he's our analytics man. We call him Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Drew himself. How is everybody doing this week, man?
We are doing.
You're doing. Man, I didn't know it was a fashion statement, Drew, to wear toilet paper for clothing, but you got it.
Oh man, that's good. That's a good one. I got nothing.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. Give me that kind of night. I got it. I got it.
So it was an exciting week, at least I think, for professional wrestling over on the WWE side. Of course, we don't really cover AEW, but I might start doing that. I don't know. Make it interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
Speaking of
watching it.
AEW, I actually have Collision on right now.
Okay, all right. He's multitasking here. So
Yep.
my problem, before we get into WWE, my problem with AEW is they'll have one good match, right, on their weekly programming, and then the rest of the month is just flat out shit.
Yeah.
They don't know how to book stuff. But
I mean, right now
that,
you got fellows in the corner that are, betting on the match, got a bottle of Henny out, a couple hundreds in the corner, and Swerve Strickland's about to whip the dog shit out of them.
love me some Swerve. But I'll go to you first, John. How did you feel about Raw this week, man?
I don't even remember what happened on Raw. My work this week's been crazy. So I mean, I watched it when I got home at like 2:00 in the morning on Tuesday, and
Yeah.
what happened? I'll be damned if I can't remember right off the top of my head.
So I don't remember.
We did have the qualifying matches proceeding on to Asuka winning her match.
Yeah.
And she was to face Alexa Bliss Friday night at SmackDown.
Yeah, we'll get to SmackDown when we get to SmackDown, so no spoilers.
Yeah,
for Asuka, but how did you? Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How did you guys feel about the presentation for Asuka, and are you guys Asuka fans?
Dude, Asuka's probably my favorite. She's probably my favorite woman in the last 20 years, other than Lita.
Whoa.
Yeah. My thing, they really like WWE dropped the ball. What was that about?
You forgot to say Stephanie Becker, and he's over there.
She's newer. I'm saying she's newer. Asuka's been around a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like with Asuka, she had been gone, I think, like 13 or 14 months now.
Yeah, she had knee surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, WWE pissed me off when they announced her return the week before. That's something you should have, left kind of like a surprise.
Yeah.
And it really shocked me too. Like going back and rewatching it, she didn't get the pop I thought she was gonna get, because I don't get that.
Can I explain to you why she didn't get the pop? Because she hasn't been the same since she lost to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, WWE buried her on that one.
You want to talk about Barry? Did y'all watch the newest episode of My Wife's Thoughts on Professional Wrestling this week?
I got started, but I was traveling and did not get to finish it. So no spoilers. Okay. I want to hear it live.
We're not gonna spoil it, but I will say this: when it gets to the Goldberg part, make sure the kids aren't around.
No, Jesus.
And I could go full blast here because I know your kids ain't home this time, so I can go into it for probably 15 minutes. But for me, I love Asuka. I think she's wonderful, but I think she's lost her aura ever since she lost to Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that was the dumbest fucking thing, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was. I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing with Shinsuke. Like I don't know. Like people now, they don't know how good Shinsuke actually can be because he's not given the opportunity to show how good he actually fucking is.
Well, I've said this. I think I said this on the first podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but excuse me. Before Shinsuke came WWE, I don't know if you remember, but he had quite a handful of matches with AJ Styles over in New Japan, and that shit. New Japan isn't like it's not. It's not practice. They let them do their own thing. That them two and New Japan were magic,
Yes.
and it really pissed me off when they had Shinsuke win that Rumble, take on AJ, and then of course WWE ain't gonna let them do their own thing. Because if they would have, I think that match could have been quite possibly in the top 10 matches of all time.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
same thing, and we'll get back to Raw in a second. I know a lot of people say that we go off the rails a lot on the show, but it's my show, so we go off the rails when we want to. But it's the same thing with Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, man.
Yep.
Like he is not the same guy that formed the greatest faction in all of professional wrestling history, and I will die on that hill. The Bullet Club is the greatest faction that has ever existed in all of professional wrestling because yes, the NWO sold merchandise and changed the business. I'm giving Hogan his credit, even though I don't like to.
And WO was a joke, bro. It was a
Here's
joke.
here's the thing: it was revolutionary for the time, but in terms of worldwide recognition, when you can walk into Charleston, West Virginia in 2016 and go into a fucking Charleston mall and go to a Hot Topic and buy a Bullet Club shirt, that's when you know you've made it.
Yep.
When you find a Bullet Club shirt in the middle of fucking nowhere, that's when you know they're doing something right. And I remember being probably 13, 14, and I had no idea because I didn't watch Being the Elite. I had no idea that it was I knew of the Japan stuff, but I only knew of the internet stuff. Like I knew of BTE, but I didn't watch it because I was like, well, if I can't watch them wrestle, what's the point of me watching their show? Right. I remember walking in, and we were going to a WWE live event, and I remember walking into Hot Topic, and my mind was blown because you had Kenny Omega, it was all Bullet Club merchandise everywhere you looked. And instead of me spending that $30, $60 on a John Cena shirt that night, guess what I wore to that live event? A Bullet Club shirt.
Bullet Club shirt.
The Bullet Club, if it's done right in WWE, oh man.
Well, man. I'll agree with you to an extent on the Bullet Club being the I think they're one of the greatest factions because I think I put them in the top 5 because I'm old school. I think the greatest faction ever built. We could actually do a cast on this topic one night. But the greatest faction ever built by far is the Four Horsemen, brother. They're the greatest.
I'm a Freebirds guy myself.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're a tag team. They weren't really a faction.
I'm a Freebirds guy myself. And a Von Erichs guy. But,
oh yeah, Von Erichs probably the great. Them and the Hearts are the two family. The two greatest family. You know what I'm saying?
If you guys haven't watched the Iron Claw yet, please,
that's a good movie.
God.
Yeah, that was that movie.
God Almighty! Look, I was 20 years old. I think I was 19 or 20 years old when that movie came out. And I'll get back to the podcast in a second, but I have ADHD. Leave me alone. I remember my dad didn't want to go see that movie because he can't stand wrestling. And I begged him. I was like, man, just drop me off. Like, I don't care where you go, just drop me off. So he went to a different movie, and I went to Iron Claw. And at the end of it, because I'm the youngest of 3 brothers, right? I have 2 brothers. I'm the youngest of 3 boys. And at the end of it, I was bawling like a baby.
Yep.
Because as a younger brother, that hit me some type of way. Because, like, my brothers and me might bicker and argue, but you fuck with them, you're going to have me to answer to. So It really hit me. And I looked around, and there was like 5 grown men sitting with me. There was only 5 of us in the theater. So 4 people other than me. And I looked around to make sure this was okay, and I wasn't embarrassing myself. And every single dude in that theater was bawling.
Yep.
So, man, there's a whole topic. We can go into old school. But were you guys okay with these results with Oscar winning here? I think it was okay.
I kind of think they've got it set. I mean, I think they've kind of got it set to where Oscar's going to win Queen of the Ring. Her and Io, I think she's going to win it, and I think she's going to challenge Io. Her and Io would make a great match together.
They would, but I don't know, man. Just something about Roxanne Perez and Drew. Are you okay with this, Drew, or do you? I feel like if she would have came back and lost, it would have been all pointless, right? So
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll have to see about how Raw goes Monday night for me to give my evaluation on it. But since we haven't talked about SmackDown yet, I feel that as of right now, my vote is for Asuka to win Queen of the Ring.
So my question is, are they just doing this for the sake of, oh, you're back, so here's a consolation prize?
That feels like a trend that's going on right now, yes.
Yeah. And the problem is with me and this whole thing isn't damage control still kind of a thing a little bit, technically?
No,
they split them up.
Yeah, because they released Dakota. Kyrie's kind of on her own. Yeah. Bailey's on her own. Yeah.
Here's the thing that aggravates me with that, and I don't know if you guys will agree with it. When they do that, when they don't have a definitive end to like a faction or a main stable that has been on TV week after week, it pisses me off. Because what was the point?
Well, it also didn't help much with Asuka's injury and taking her out for so long too. So
yeah, and I just felt like that ever since Bailey, and I'm a big Bailey fan. I think if I hadn't have met my wife, I'd have been one of these internet stalkers that was trying to beg Bailey to marry me, and I'm not even kidding.
Oh wow!
But I think that ever since Bailey left Damage Control, it was never the same. And I don't know if it's just me that feels that way, but Bailey's always been second fiddle, and she shouldn't. Yes, treated like the fourth place because she was part of the four horsewomen.
I like her.
Yes,
she's wonderful. She's fantastic. Not to mention that outfit she wore. But yeah, I thought it was okay to me. I mean, it just felt like a consolation prize to me. We had another qualifying match, right, Drew? On Raw, we had that Sammy match.
Yep. Well, there was Jey Uso's match on Raw,
which was
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was him, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, Rusev. It was a lot of meat in one blender. I mean, yes. And they tore the roof off for that match. It was absolutely brilliant, and I loved the buildup with Tozawa, Maxine, and Natalya going up to Sheamus prior. As much as Tozawa is supposed to be more of the comic relief, the fact that Sheamus was saying this is going to be a lesson of tough love, because him and Rusev used to be, very close and a small faction together. And Tozawa was like, no, you go in there, you kick his ass. I'm like, yes, that's that. I would have done that one a little differently, but I loved how Tozawa just said, you know what? Let's get to the point. Go out there and whoop his ass. Just, let's do this for Otis. Yeah, I loved how he continued that on. But it was a great match. Absolute great match. I love how Seth Rollins came out afterwards and was trying to do a little number on Jay, but he had some backup. And he had quite a bit of backup that came out to help him out, which was awesome. But I want to go back a little bit. My second biggest concern about Raw this past week, Liv Morgan's injury.
Oh, yes.
Liv Morgan's injury and what that's going to do with the women's tag titles.
They're not vacating them. They've already clarified that. So it tells me that probably Roxanne does a Naomi and takes over as tag champ. They apparently they've scrapped all the storyline they've had for Liv, because Liv apparently is going to be out to at least January, which probably means, oh, surprise entrant for the Rumble, da 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 da. Which also tells me that Liv probably comes back as a face, because they're probably going to go with a storyline to where Roxanne takes over Judgment Day, takes over Dom, which Dom, I don't even think Dom's
over. I think Roxanne is going to take over Liv's position in everything, which is going to make her come back. So she's going to be the temporary tag team holder with Roxanne. Take over as the love interest for Dom. Take over as the female lead in Judgment Day, and slowly pushing Liv out of the way until Royal Rumble. Or to talk a little bit about SmackDown without giving too much away, since we haven't really talked about SmackDown yet, I see another women's tag team that would be huge to add to the women's division.
Alexa
Bliss and Charlotte Flair. That would be the ones I could see taking it instead of Roxanne and Liv, or Roxanne and with Judgment Day.
Go ahead.
No, the thing that kind of irritated me all week, and I've been seeing it with those internet freaking retards all week, they're trying to pin Kairi Sane as the new Nia Jax. How Nia Jax used to injure people. They're trying to pin her as the new Nia, which if you watch that injury that happened to Liv in a slow motion, it wasn't on Kairi.
No.
Liv landed wrong. That's all that happened. It was a freak accident. It wasn't that Kairi was rough on her. Yes, what happened with Zoe? What happened with Zoe was kind of on Kairi, because she didn't take that drop kick or whatever it was. But it irritates me that they're pinning this on Kairi when it wasn't Kairi's fault.
Right.
Again, guys, I want to apologize. Our air is out. So if you hear my dog whining, it's because he's hot. I got the fan blaring at full speed. Yeah. So just ignore that for the viewers. I know it doesn't bother you guys, but I know that'll get on somebody's nerves. But what were we talking about again?
I'm gonna send you some batteries, brother, because you got to get that smoke alarm.
Huh?
You can't hear that beep in the background? That smoke alarm beeping?
No.
I have a smoke alarm in here. I don't know if you guys can't see it, but you know what? The motherfucker light ain't even on, so I gotta check that. But yeah, John, I'm with you. I don't get and everybody's entitled to their opinion, but when it's stupid, I'm gonna tell you your opinion's stupid. So people that are saying that Kairi Sane is the next Nia Jax, you're just trying to make another excuse to hate somebody.
Yes.
That's all it is. It was a freak accident, and all well wishes to Liv.
I do love that, of all people, Rhea Ripley is the one that came out online saying, "Don't you dare cheer for an injury. That's a legitimate injury. Don't you dare. Like, I don't care the breaking kayfabe, whatever. Don't you dare cheer a legitimate injury the way that a bunch of fans did." You know, Liv is doing a great job of playing a villain, playing a heel, however you want to call it.
She's best female heel in the business right now.
Yeah. That's the role she's been tasked with, and she's doing a phenomenal job at it. And the fact that the person that she's had the biggest story with here recently is the one that's come out and defending her, telling all these fans, grow the fuck up. And they're telling a story. She's legitimately injured. Don't you dare fucking cheer for someone to get injured. Freak accident. I love that she's putting everybody in place. So cheers to mommy for that.
That she got hurt.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Oh my God.
She's like surprised that people are cheering that she got injured.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, you're gonna want to see when something happens to somebody that you hate, so to speak. Because it was perfect the fact that she came out earlier in the evening and she was talking so much shit, and then all of a sudden Karma came out and said, "Hey, not tonight, bitch," type of situation. But when this is a legitimate, not a storyline injury, but a legitimate injury, that's a different thing. If it was storyline, okay, cool. I could see, cheering, "Hey, the match, you lost the match or whatever." But she legitimately could not finish the match. So this was a legit injury. Don't cheer that kind of an injury.
No.
Just wish her well and let's move on.
The only thing that I will say that was good about this is we don't have to watch Nikki Bella wrestle.
Thank you, Lord.
So, and the original, I don't know if you guys have been reading, but the original plan was to have at Saudi Arabia coming up this coming weekend was to have Brie Bella and Nikki Bella versus Raquel and Liv.
Ooh.
No.
That was the original plan. Now, I like Brie. I think Brie's way better wrestler. I think she can actually
out of the two, out of the twins, Brie is better, but
you have to look at who her husband is. Like, if you have Daniel Bryan to constantly feed off of, and you're not good, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But that's the only good thing I can say from this is that I don't have to watch Nikki Bella wrestle.
But I think Nikki Bella is more known.
Well, she's more known because she's had more plastic surgery, and she was in an era when people like me were growing up, and all we cared about was titties.
Yeah,
right?
So
she got pushed down our throats, not because she was good, number one, because she was fucking John Cena.
Yeah.
That's the main reason.
That's the main reason, also because
number
she had big
two
titties.
Is because she was good looking as hell, and that was it.
And big that's literally all.
That was it. She could never work.
And number three, her stepdaddy was talent relation, John Laurinaitis. Hey, real quick before we it jumps out of my head, but I want to go back to what where you guys were saying you kind of felt like Asuka's getting this win, and she might get this win, as a consolation prize. I'll agree to a point with that because I hate saying this because I really, really like her, but since Io has won that title, I don't even think she's defended it, dude. I don't even think she's defended it once. So I don't remember her defending it though.
Yeah, she's been title. The
women's title.
Women's World Championship. She's defended it quite a bit.
Since the triple threat when she won it at Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She hasn't.
Oh, I thought so. But
I think I'll verify. Hold on.
Even if she has, it hasn't been much. But I think that may be a part of the reason why maybe they're pushing for Asuka to win this thing, is because Io they're just not booking her to defend it.
Man, guys, here's the thing. I don't know, because their women's division, they're not being booked properly. Am I the only one that's seen that? The whole women's division, not just the tag division, but every woman's wrestler on the planet in WWE is not being booked correctly.
No, well, not a lot of the talent in general. I mean, you got
Black.
I think it's supposed to happen right after SummerSlam, the draft.
The draft, yeah.
I was talking to a coworker of mine. I've got a couple of coworkers that are big time wrestling fans too.
Yep.
I kind of had a discussion with one of them yesterday that I think what they should do is, because you got NXT, which is technically supposed to be like, I guess your minor league, where back in the day before NXT came out, SmackDown was more of your minor league. Raw was your flagship show, which Raw is still your flagship show.
Right.
I think it'd be cool is if, say, discard one of the set of women's tag belts, discard one of the men's tag belts, because you don't have many men's tag team that are worth a shit anyway. But put all of, like, and I know this sounds so stupid, but put a majority of your top superstars and top mid-carders on Raw, and leave your bottom half on SmackDown, but leave like two top guys on SmackDown that doesn't care about winning any belts, but just wants to stay and help these younger guys, boost up. You know what I'm saying?
Which makes me wonder how they're going to do Survivor Series this year.
Yeah,
there's not really a big storyline of anything. It's not two factions going against each other. You can't really do SmackDown versus Raw because there hasn't really been anybody to really fight it.
Well, my assumption with the War Games this year, you'll probably see Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. I would like to think that Drew will return soon.
I don't think so.
But I mean, even so, I mean, you're going to see Seth's faction, whoever it will be, going against probably Roman, Cody, Jay, maybe Jacob. That's probably your big match for Survivor Series right there.
I mean, depending on the results of SummerSlam and the pay-per-view after that, but I mean, I don't see. I mean, with the draft as well, but I just don't see the build-up like we've had the last few years. I don't see anything for War Games at all.
No,
because that was a big pay-per-view that we had the last few years, leading towards Rumble Mania season. So
yeah. Well, you can think last year. What was last year's War Game match? Who was that? Wasn't that Bronson? Was that the one Bronson Reed broke his ankles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had that one, and then the year before you had Bloodline versus
Judgment Day.
Yeah, and then the year before that was Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and Orton and all them.
When Orton and Punk came back.
Yeah. Well, no, that was the one where they faced Judgment Day.
Yeah.
That was sorry. Yeah. But yeah, I had said I think on one of our first podcasts I made comment to to Survivor Series back in the 80s and 90s, and Andrew, you would probably know because I think you're not much younger than I am. But back then, Survivor Series, there were no championship matches. All it was, the whole pay-per-view were 4-on-4. And what they did was they took all of your babyface winners and they set up one final match at the end where they took all the winning baby faces and put them against the winning heels. I really wish they'd go back to that.
I wouldn't say no to it.
No, I wouldn't either. It was fun.
I wouldn't say no to it either. You're right, guys. I don't think there is a plan for a Survivor Series. From what I've heard, and I got some insider sources, I'm not allowed to give those away because I don't like, but the plan is just to get rid of the War Games match entirely, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of because I like War Games.
What would they replace it with if they got rid of it, though?
Just a regular Survivor Series like it was in the 80s and early 2000s is the current plan moving forward. Which, I mean, hey, business is business, I guess. But to me, you had a marketability with the War Games match that if you take that away, you aren't going to have with Survivor Series. All right. I guess we can get to the biggest talking point of this week's Raw. Drew, I'll let you start because you know what I'm getting ready to talk about. Go ahead.
Well, the man did say he might be able to spare 3 minutes. And to be completely honest, I saw an AI-generated poster for prediction, and I would absolutely love to see it come true. I have to admit. If Goldberg is going to be fighting Gunther for the title, and it's supposed to be in Atlanta, I would love to see Bret Hart come out and fuck over Goldberg and lose his title. I would absolutely love to see it. But if Goldberg wins, I would actually like to see Seth not cash in. Mainly because it's his retirement match, and that would be one shitty way to retire is to have someone cash in and you hold the title for all of 30 seconds. What does that say about that title?
It would tell me that it ain't worth the Charmin toilet paper that we wipe our asses with.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like so confused with it. I mean, look, facts. This is any time that Goldberg has returned, what does he do? He wins the title every time.
Yep.
I just don't know where they would go. Let's say Jay wins King of the Ring. I would go ahead and think in my head, okay, well, now with Goldberg back, would Goldberg win the title from Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event and come out on Raw on Monday and relinquish it and say, hey, that was because this is his last match.
Yeah.
Relinquish it on Monday night. What do they do at that point? Do they give it back to Gunther just because he was the previous holder? Or
Make
do they, yeah, but I mean, if they do a tournament,
make a tournament, just like if they had to vacate it for retirement, injury, or whatever, and it's now vacant title, and you hold a tournament, and whoever the last two in that tournament, that wins the title. Then Seth cashes in.
Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. I'm curious now because like something like that's really bringing back the evolution when Triple H and Orton and Batista and Flair were together. Randy won that title.
Mm-hmm.
And the next night after, they booted him out.
Yep.
What if they do a tournament for it, right? What if somebody like Braun Breaker wins that title? Do they come out the next night on Raw or whatever show he wins it at, and they give him the boot?
It's too early.
They wouldn't do that.
I know, but I'm just saying they know Seth wants that title. As far as I've seen,
Seth doesn't want that belt.
He wants Cena's title.
Think about and I'll get to Goldberg in a second because I'll let y'all go first because I got a lot of shit to say. But think about what Cena's trying to do, right? Ruin wrestling. What's Seth Rollins' big thing right now? The future of professional wrestling will go through Seth Rollins.
Yep.
So it makes the most sense for him to want Cena's belt. He wants to be that savior. He wants to have that recognition because Seth Rollins, the character's ego, needs that. He needs the people to say, thank you, Seth. That's why he was the whole Monday Night Messiah gimmick. So it makes so much sense for Seth Rollins to go after Cena's belt more than it does the world title.
Oh, that just popped in my head. So, all right, let's just imagine Cena's plan goes through. He wins his final match. He's getting ready. Final match is over. He's got the title. He's getting ready to walk out the door, saying goodbye to all the fans. The final piss off. This is it. I'm walking out. And he's spent because he gave everything, his last whatever, left everything in the ring. Getting ready to take his boots off, retire, everything. And then you hear, burn it down. And then Seth comes out before he can actually leave the stadium with the belt, and he cashes in. That way he can say the future goes through me, and actually saves wrestling.
Yeah. And then his new gimmick would be the savior of professional wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, I would really like to see that. I still want to see him walk out with the belt just because I want a new belt design and I'm a John Cena kid.
Well, yep.
So yeah. But back to Bill Goldberg. Do you guys see what's behind me, by the way? You guys see that back there?
Yeah, that's where that right there, done.
So
I didn't see what was behind you. Hold on. Oh yeah, Bray. Yep.
So I'm gonna do this as calmly as I possibly can because I didn't do it as calm on my wife's thoughts on professional wrestling. You buried Jey Uso after 15 fucking years. just for him to be a here. We got to get this belt on Gunther so we can have Bill Goldberg have his final match in Atlanta, and that's who he wants to face for that belt. I don't hate any people in professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, but I cannot stand the ground that Bill Goldberg walks on. He is the biggest piece of shit to ever step foot in business professional wrestling. He is the biggest egotistical fucking maniac I have ever seen in my fucking life. He buries every talent that he's ever touched. He doesn't know how to work. He's unsafe. He's unprofessional. He's an idiot. And for poor Jey Uso to work 15 fucking years of his life busting his ass day in, day out. For fuck's sake, he used to come out and face paint and do a stupid little dance that was over. And for him to work his ass off for 15 years just to be told, hey, we got to get this belt off of you, kid, because Bill's coming back and he wants to fight Gunther for that belt. But we'll give you the King of the Ring tournament. Oh, wait, no, we're giving that to Cody so we can set up Cena and Cody for SummerSlam.
Yeah, don't forget match.
What the fuck is going on? I don't care about Bill Goldberg's retirement. He should have retired 5 fucking years ago. I don't care to see him. It's a waste of a fucking spot on the card. It's a waste of a title run in Jey Uso, and it's fucking pathetic. It's pathetic.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Because he's gonna fucking drop Jey Uso on his head and possibly break his neck because he's an idiot. Guys, he ended the career of the greatest in-ring technician of all time because of carelessness. Yep. He busted his head open before he had the biggest match of his life against The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia and almost killed him.
About broke his neck, yeah.
He still beats his head off a locker room door before he walks out. And then walks out there and wonders why he had a shitty match. It's because you concussed yourself before you even walked through the curtain. And not to mention that he buried this man's whole entire career. Wasted a whole fucking, 2 years of build-up for this guy. And you expect me to go, oh, well, it's his retirement match, so let's not have Seth cash in. If Seth does not cash in, this will be one of the biggest wastes in professional wrestling history. Because you already buried fucking Jey Uso and made him feel like just, sorry, kid. Bill's coming back, and he wants to fight Gunther, and he wants the belt, so got to get it off of you. They wasted 15 years. Guys, I could go on and on about it, but I'm highly pissed off. It's fucking pathetic that we're supposed to care about Bill Goldberg because he can't wrestle. He never could.
No.
He can't wrestle more than 5 minutes. And I'm supposed to care, and I'm not supposed to let it bother me that he buried Jey Uso and he buried The Fiend and he almost killed The Undertaker. The dude's unsafe. He should have retired 5 fucking years ago. I mean, I see these people online that are like, oh, yeah, Goldberg's coming back. For what? For nothing other than a cheap pop in your hometown. Because it's all you're ever going to get. That's why you have to retire there, because those are the only people that's probably going to fucking cheer you in the fucking whole United States. Anyway. All right, can we move to SmackDown now?
Oh, there was someone I was looking for because they said the exact same thing you were thinking about because they had to carry him through they had to carry Goldberg through matches in WCW, and I just cannot think of his name right now. It's killing me.
No, but I tell you, if you guys one Saturday evening want to get on here and for about 13 or 14 minutes, we can watch the whole library of Goldberg matches. That's about as long as it'll take us to watch is about 14 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's my thing with him, guys. I'm sure Drew's Googling it right now to find out whose name that is. So I'll keep talking.
Yeah, please do, because this is killing me. I can see his face. I just can't think of his name.
I remember one guy. He Tank Abbott was one.
Everybody wants to talk about his 175 winnings. He beat freaking what's his name? Bill DeMont like 8 times.
Well, I have to say his first match against Bill DeMont, that was quite impressive.
Well, yeah, that was his debut match.
His debut match was quite impressive.
Yeah, but like after a while, you start to see the cracks that are filling through. And like, if you guys have Peacock, right?
Okay, I just found his name. Thank you.
Hold on, let Drew find his
William
name.
fucking Regal said the exact same thing, that he had to carry Bill Goldberg, that he could not do the basic stuff, and that he was getting winded after 5-6 minutes because there were matches that were supposed to last 12, 15 minutes in WCW, and it was actually Regal that was carrying Goldberg throughout majority of that match.
He can't fucking work. And I'm supposed to care that it's his retirement match? I don't give a shit. It's a waste of a fucking championship. It makes the world championship feel more like a fucking prop than a world title. And it pisses me off. But Drew, I'll let you lead into SmackDown. Go ahead.
SmackDown, I was impressed with how it started. I thought LA Knight grabbing a chair and whooping the shit out of Breaker and Bronson Reed was an awesome way to start the show. I thought that Asuka and Alexa Bliss had a great match together.
You're gonna have to fill me in with some of this, guys, because I was on the road when this was happening. I had it on the background, but I had to have it low because I was in the car.
Oh, you're good.
You're good. Fill me in here. Fill me in.
So Asuka defeated Alexa Bliss to proceed forward. So and that was a great match. It really was. I'm trying to understand why Ron Killings came out and just beat up this no-name dude.
It was Kit Wilson.
It made no sense.
It's the first time we've seen Kit Wilson in 6 months, and there was no Elton Prince. He's one half of Pretty Deadly, and I'm like,
I know, but like it made no sense to come out and just randomly attack. It has nothing to do with the story. But I don't know why Ron Killings even got involved in an Aleister Black match unless there's going to be some kind of.
Actually, it might make more sense than you think, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But go ahead and finish.
Okay. Well, I was really hoping that the match with him and Cena would have been the time where we would have seen more, but I love that match. And then it was the chat with Orton, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes. I loved that segment as well. But I'm curious if it will actually be Randy Orton winning because he won the match to proceed with
a great match, by the way.
It was. I'm still curious on who Naomi is going to cash in on because next week it's supposed to be Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, which cannot stand Nia Jax. I've never liked her.
I think
she's on cashing on Tiff.
Well, Naomi was trying to cash in, but Naomi kept getting in the way, and then Tiffany attacked Naomi, which then fell into Nia Jax, and she grabbed her title and hauled ass out of there, which I don't blame her on that part.
Well, it makes the most sense. It makes the most sense to have her cash in next week because of her and Nia having the last woman standing match, so both of them could get knocked down.
Right.
And Naomi come out there and cash in.
But Naomi already had that opportunity to Friday night because Nia had already done a good job of knocking her out. But it just does foreshadow to next week with her having the same possibility of now Nia Jax also being out, not being able to stop her. So then you had Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu having their little conversation about what happened at the last pay-per-view, and then they decided to jump Jacob Fatu, and then who comes out to help out Fatu? Well, it's the other Uso that no one really gave a damn about there for a while.
Big Jim.
So Jim comes out to help, which was surprising, but he helped out for a little bit, and then after a bit, LA Knight got absolutely destroyed and manhandled, which every single one of those times that Bronson Reed dropped on him, it just that ow.
I love Bronson Reed. I think Bronson Reed's fantastic.
The best part of that night, which you're gonna hate, John Cena's pipe bomb.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna hate that at all. But I want to get to that in a second.
That was fucking beautiful.
It was.
I loved it. I loved it, but it felt more like a parody.
No. Well, that was the point. But here's the thing, and I'll get to that in a second because I want to backtrack a little bit. You said, Drew, that it made no sense for Truth to attack Kit Wilson, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what happened the week leading up to this one? Do you guys remember that backstage segment? Did you guys catch the small little detail that I caught?
Last week's bro?
When Truth was backstage pacing back and forth before Nick Aldis walked in that room, he said, "You all cannot talk at once."
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Killings has split personality disorder. And the whole Ron Killings character is tired of his little brother R-Truth getting beat down all these years. So the whole "I'm driving now," that's the personality saying, no, it's time for you to lay down. Let Big Brother take over. I got you. Yeah. So
that.
To me, it makes sense for him to be unhinged and just attack and, be unpredictable. So to me, it was wonderful. I thought it made a lot of sense because I don't know if you guys caught it when I did. I know I sent a TikTok to the group on about that, but I caught it as soon as it happened. I was like, oh man, oh, such a small little detail, but it was wonderful.
Well, let me ask this, because I think we've all said that. The heel Cena isn't going to last much longer because it's really not working.
No, it's not working at all.
Okay, so last night you had Truth back in the back. Aleister Black comes to him. They chalked up for a minute. Well, then Priest comes over. Priest literally looked like he had Truth snapped out of it. You know what I'm saying? Do we think that Ron Killings, and they're still calling him R-Truth when he comes to the ring? I figured they would have been calling him Ron Killings. Do we think that this whole new set of R-Truth isn't going to last long either, like Cena's heel run?
I think it'll last a lot longer than people think because I think there's a lot of layers to this. It's a split personality character. Like, another split personality character is right behind me, and look at everything he did. I'm not saying that R-Truth is on the same level as Bray Wyatt, but you can tell that Ron Killings, the person, has been working on this for a while. They're finally letting him do it. And dude, here's the crazy thing, y'all. I'm a conspiracy theorist. What if this was the whole thing with R-Truth all along, from 2008 till now?
What if be a hell of a time to continue a storyline?
What if this has slowly been building for like 14 years, 15 years?
That'd be pretty sweet.
It's because think about it. Little Jimmy, was real to Truth, right? What if Little Jimmy was just another personality?
Could be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things. It's like back when I don't know if you guys remember this, but Bray Wyatt teased The Fiend 8 years before it happened in a WWE YouTube video called WWE Ghost Stories.
Yep.
Teased it 8 years before it happened. So is it too hard to believe that R-Truth's been working on this since 2008? No.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, but I do want to jump. SmackDown was great, and it was what it was. But the biggest talking point, man, and you're talking to one of the biggest CM Punk fans on the planet. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, and you're also talking to one of the biggest John Cena fans on the planet. Holy fucking shit!
Yep. I don't know how many times I've watched it over and over.
Me too. So here's the thing. Here's the wonderful thing, right? She had never seen the pipe bomb.
Oh, damn.
Never seen the pipe bomb, right? So she's so confused. I'm over here crying. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was crying because as soon as he grabs the microphone and he taps it and he goes back in and Punk's laying there like this, I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's happening. And I just started crying. And she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And as he goes line by line by line, I was bawling even harder because another personal thing for me. All my parents did growing up was fight. I didn't have a good, my dad was the best dad in the world. It still is. He's my hero. But in terms of my parents' dynamic, wasn't very good.
Right.
So, wrestling was my escape.
Yeah.
And I remember that vividly in my head because that's why I'm so confident now, is that promo. It changed my life. Because here's a guy who got told that you're not going to be good enough. You're just a Paul Heyman guy. You're only here because Paul Heyman didn't fire you in 06 when we asked him to. As a kid who grew up with a disability, that says a lot.
Yeah.
I've been told you're not going to be a commentator. You're not that good. But by God, I'm the best in the business. So that promo stuck out to me, and that's why this meant so much to me, is because now, 5 years from now, when I have my children, I can say, here's this promo, and here's this one. That promo that Cena cut will have the same effect on my child, on my son, that the pipe bomb 14 years ago from CM Punk had on me.
Yep.
It was generation. It was crazy. He dropped Claudio Castagnoli's name, an active member of the AEW roster who is on AEW television every week. Because he's part of the
That's the reason I was trying to watch AEW tonight to see if there was going to be any response. Because Matt Cardona was replying on Twitter like crazy shortly after his name got dropped.
Yep.
And so did Nick Nemeth.
Yes. And here's the crazy thing for me. Yes, John, you're right. It was a parody, but that was the point. Right? But that was Cena giving out his grievances. Right? That was the difference. Because they're literally doing the exact same thing. When he said, when I leave in 7 days or whatever, and then Cena said, when I leave in 6 months, they're doing the same thing. Yep. Just going down different paths than Punk did 14 years ago. So this, to me, all right, I'm about to say something that's going to make y'all blow y'all. Was one of the best promos in the last 20 years.
Agreed.
Oh, no. I agree with you there.
If not the best promo in the last
20 years. But I feel like, and I've seen somebody say the same thing, but I know its storyline. I know Punk and Cena are good friends in real life.
Best friends.
But I read something today or this morning that that Cena had to have Punk's permission to do that promo he did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he'd want to do it justice.
Well, out of respect, that's just what I'm... Dude, the pipe bomb is the second greatest promo of all time.
Yeah.
The second. Notice I said the second because I put Cena's above Punk's.
I can't go that route. I can't go that route.
And I'll tell you why. Because it was just that good. Like, I don't want to hear people, and I'm a Cena kid, and I went back, and as I was working this week, I work a desk job. I'm not going to say where I work for personal reasons. But I was able to sit back and watch the greatest matches of John Cena on Peacock. Anybody that tells me John Cena can't wrestle, go back and watch his match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But think of what was going on with the business at the time when CM Punk did his.
Yeah.
That was his time of stepping into the same shoes as when Stone Cold was giving his finger to the man. When we were cheering the anti-hero of, being able to fight your boss, literally. and not lose your job. This was him verbally attacking his boss in the business with that pipe bomb. So I have to have Punk's pipe bomb over Cena's because of that.
Yeah,
only because it was a resemblance of it, quite literally, with this time Punk laying on the broken table instead of it being Cena laying in the broken remains of the table.
Almost in the exact same position.
Yeah, literally. But this time it wasn't Cena going after the business organization of the boss. He mentions it a little bit, but he mentions it as a part of the business, not attacking them, wishing they were dead, et cetera, et cetera. So I still have to have Punk's above it, but Cena's is right there.
I can agree with you on that. I'll recheck my statement. But can I
go ahead, buddy.
But I was gonna say this, and I don't know if you guys agree with me. CM Punk is the greatest promo in the business, the history of the business.
150%.
I can give you that.
Punk is the greatest promo of all time.
With the passion that he's put into his promos, yeah, I can definitely give you that.
One of my favorite CM Punk quotes, and we'll get back on the rails here in a second because I want to get more John's thoughts on this promo. But one of my favorite CM Punk quotes of all time is he said something to The Rock, and he was like, "You're just going to realize that your arms are too short to box with God." One of the greatest lines ever said in a professional wrestling ring. One name that I was surprised that we didn't get dropped here, and I don't know if John knows who this is, but Jack Perry.
Oh, yeah, that's the one he choked out in AEW to get fired.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really surprised we didn't get his name dropped. I popped so hard when he said Claudio Castagnoli, and I popped even harder when he said Nick Nemeth. Because I'm a dog
it makes you wonder, though, like how much John has worked with those guys in the past and how much he worked with Matt Curt. I don't know how much he worked with Ziggler and just how much he wishes those guys didn't leave, how much he wishes he could still work with, things like that. So,
oh man, if Nick Nemeth by himself was still in WWE, this retirement tour for Cena would be 10 times better.
Oh yeah. The way you talk about somebody getting done dirty and just saying fuck it and going somewhere else. I mean, his name should be at the top of the list.
Oh yeah, he's my dad's favorite wrestler is Nick Nemeth.
Yeah,
my dad hates wrestling. He loves Nick Nemeth. But John, what do you think about this promo? And did you feel the same way that we do?
I enjoyed it. Again, I felt like it was a ripoff of the pipe bomb because, as we know, the pipe bomb was real. It was real, 150% real. All the wrestlers have said in the past that when this happened, they cleared the hall. Everybody was on silence. That was it.
Oh, people were scared shitless and backstage.
Yeah. They thought it was somebody was going to get hurt as soon as he walked through that curtain.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, it was great. I mean, it was a great promo. I just was like, man, he's ripping off Punk's promo.
Right before he did that pipe bomb, when Punk did his, didn't he stand at the top of the Titantron acting like he was going to jump off of it, even though he had or was it somebody else?
2 weeks, maybe a year before this, because that's when he was still in Nexus. That's when he had his Nexus group, which, by the way, in my opinion, was better than the original Nexus. But that's just my opinion.
Well, with that Nexus group, I mean, only 2 of them really made names for themselves. Maybe 3 if you count Ryback.
I wouldn't say that. I think he's
3 of them became world champion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You had Daniel Bryan, who was one of the originals, but they kicked him out because he felt sorry for what they did.
Right.
So Daniel Bryan won.
Well, the original reason he got kicked out was because he choked Justin Roberts with his necktie.
Well, technically 4 of those members became world champion at one point. So,
yeah. So
you had Daniel Bryan, you had Ryback, you had Bray Wyatt, and then you had Wade Barrett.
When did Ryback become world champion?
Ryback was never world champ.
Or no, sorry, he was in world championship contendership. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, the only ones that really made any name out of their career would be Ryback, Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, Husky Hair. Yeah, but Husky that was Bray.
What was you getting ready to say about Husky Harris?
No, was he in there? Was he in the first He wasn't in the original Nexus, was he?
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, it was him and McGillicuddy. Yeah.
It was McGillicuddy. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I thought you was going to say something negative.
No, hell no, Bray. No, not about Bray. No, shoot no.
My blood pressure got up there for a second.
No.
They weren't doing the man. They weren't doing the man justice when he was in that group.
No.
But that was a good faction at the time to show that the group from NXT came in and just wreaked havoc.
Yeah, and then to give the leadership to Punk, I thought was perfect as well. When they did like the second version of it.
Yeah, they did the second version, then they broke it off and did
the core,
which was Justin Gabriel. I actually liked him.
Yeah, dude, PJ Black is awesome.
Whatever happened to Mason Ryan?
I have no fucking. You want to know another person I want to know what fucking happened to?
David Otunga.
I know what happened to David Otunga. He's in a bunch of Tyler Rex.
Oh, he's a woman now, apparently.
Yeah, Tyler Rex transitioned.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What the fuck did he do before that? I love him / her. He was awesome. And then there's another one, Mike Knox, who was in Aces and Eights at some point. I have so many names that a lot of people don't remember that I'm like, dude, y'all don't remember this?
Yeah, Mike Knox was one of the guys who came back when they rebranded ECW.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's so many names, bro.
Interesting. Hold on a second.
Analytics, man.
Hold on a second. Y'all see that picture right there?
Yeah.
That's Mason Ryan.
Now.
What the fuck?
He's in Cirque du Soleil.
Who?
Mason Ryan.
Yeah. I remember seeing something that he joined the Cirque du Soleil act in Vegas.
Yep, he is in Cirque du Soleil as of now.
To me, he looked exact. He was kind of like how you remember that one guy who was in Nexus, Darren Young?
Yeah.
I love me some D Young.
Black John Cena to the core.
Yes. Yes.
Mason Ryan was another Dave Bautista lookalike.
Yes. Can you imagine when they were doing the stunt double routine with Damian Sandow, The Miz, if you would have had Mason Ryan and Batista come out
to the team?
Jesus Christ, that would have been a tag team division. Kiss my ass, just give them the belts.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Just give them the damn belts at that point.
Well, I'll tell you another one I like too. Well, he wasn't a member of Nexus, but he was rolling with the Miz for a little bit. Alex Riley.
Yes, he had a great potential.
But yeah, like I said, the promo was great. It felt like a knockoff to Punk's real promo.
Yeah, I mean, try to give tribute to it, do it justice, but at the same time, it did kind of feel. I see your point. I see your point.
I see his point too. But
I still thoroughly enjoyed it, especially when they didn't censor out. They didn't censor out anything, especially when even after Cena said it, they were like, "Oh, I'm cursing," so there's, and I didn't get censored out. We're still here.
That's what made me.
What I want to know. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that where he said, I think he said "God damn," and I think he said bullshit or something.
Yep.
When
he had a few that came out.
Yeah, when he cracked out those two for a split second, it made me feel like it was real, another real pipe bomb again.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's the question: how do we know it wasn't?
Oh no, there was a lot of truth to what he was saying. You could see it in his facial expressions. They were letting him have his time.
Yeah,
the same way they did with Truth or with Punk.
So here's the thing with me. So at the end, it cut out, and then he said "mother fudger." What did he say before "mother fudger"?
I'd have to go back and look at it again.
Interesting. I was watching it.
Because he said something, and then he was like "mother fudging" and walked out. And they cut that part out. And another person. Go ahead.
You talking about having to rewind and go back and double check what somebody had said. I was watching the AJ Styles match with shit, what's his face from Judgment Day? Yeah, McDonough. And they kept talking about how big his head was. and different times where he used his head to his advantage and whatnot. Well, there was a moment where they got real close to the broadcast table again. So they mentioned his injury that he had. And I swore I heard it, and I had to rewind it just to double check. Thankfully, it was on Netflix, so you can do that. But I could have swore Michael Cole said, because they were ripping on him hard. Him and Corey Graves were ripping on him about how big his head was and everything. Like he was a Minecraft character, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It was great. Best part of the match. But I could have swore Michael Cole said that he injured his ovaries when he crashed into the table.
Wow,
I was dying. I was like, Michael Cole, that's great. And then I rewound it. He did not say that. And I was like, son of a bitch, that would have been perfect.
Oh,
that's crazy because I thought the same thing.
Oh, I rewound it and he did not say that, but they were just talking about that moment where he crashed into the table and he was out for a few months. But oh man, I swore he said that he had injured his ovaries, and I drank spit out of my mouth, everything. It was perfect.
Yeah, that was great.
So overall, a great week for you guys in terms of wrestling.
Yeah,
well,
it was a satisfying great week.
Yeah, Raw was really good for once. SmackDown was, I thought SmackDown, this was probably, it could have been the best SmackDown of the year, really.
SmackDown is definitely an improvement from what it has been the last few weeks and months, for sure.
For it to be the best SmackDown of the year for me, we would have had to have a little bit better match quality.
But I thoroughly enjoyed the match with Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green. And I'm curious. I mean, as much as I don't like Charlotte Flair winning, because she's already been to the top of the mountain quite a few times. I love that she's in there in the hunt, but she's putting over other competitors. Yeah. And every match she's had has been great. I love seeing the result that she's losing. I'm tired of seeing her winning Royal Rumbles and winning the big matches, but I thought it was a great match, and I do look forward to seeing her and Alexa Bliss in a tag team together. Get them in the women's tag team division, that's going to be a true unstoppable force.
Yeah.
That could be one that I could see them two going after, and they merge the women's tag team titles together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the couple of questions I have for at least the upcoming event next week is, number one,
I'm trying to film a fucking podcast, you jackass. Sorry.
I think so. The solo dethrone Jacob. I think so. I have that feeling it's going to happen.
Not this early. No.
Yeah, we don't need somebody else getting screwed over out of a quick title reign.
He's too over right now.
The other question is, does WWE continue pulling the trigger with Jay and have him win it to go get that title back at SummerSlam?
Cody's winning King of the Ring.
And 3, what's going to be the outcome of Gunther and Goldberg?
Goldberg's going to win and Seth's cashing in, I'm telling you right now. Because of the political piece of shit that Bill Goldberg is. Well, that's about time, man. I want one more world title.
I would still rather see Seth cash in on John Cena right before I would rather see that storyline than Bill Goldberg, him crashing on Goldberg, even though I could see both. I would rather see him cash in on Cena before Cena leaves after the final match.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he cashes in on Cena because he ain't held that title yet.
Yeah.
He's held that title.
Yeah, he's held that title, bro.
He took it from Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at when
he just hasn't held that design.
Okay, fair enough.
So do we have a full card for Night of Champions?
Not really. I mean, we got
my analytics.
I think Cena Punk is the only one we've got in stone right now.
Yeah. The reason I was asking is because Drew won't be here next Saturday, I don't think, to record a show. He won't be here during the
pay-per-view. Hold on. So they said that Night of Champions full card updated after SmackDown. Undisputed WWE Championship, Cena versus Punk, King of the Ring Tournament Finals, Randy Orton versus Jey Uso or Cody Rhodes, because that's going to be Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Queen of the Ring Tournament Finals, Asuka versus Roxanne Perez or Jade Cargill. I think it'll be Roxanne versus Asuka. That's just my prediction. WWE Intercontinental Title Championship, Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. And then it's going to be the Men's United States Championship, Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, so
that's 5 matches. That's a full card. I could see one more match getting thrown in there because there's supposed to be a Bayley versus Becky Lynch Intercontinental title match this Monday night on Raw.
Yeah,
I could see that getting a never happen match because of a fight that starts prior, and that could get moved to this pay-per-view as well.
But here's the thing. Go ahead, John.
No, could we also see a LA Knight versus Bronson Reed or LA Knight versus Braun Breaker at Night of Champions?
That might be a pre-show fight because they haven't had one of those in a while.
Well, they don't do pre-show fights anymore.
Nope, they don't. All they do is talk.
So
they could bring it back, but I don't. Okay. With it being in Saudi Arabia, they might.
Here's the thing, man. I just don't see Jay winning this tournament. I see Cody winning it, and then that's how we get Cody and Cena.
Yeah, but you could still get. I mean, either way it goes. I mean, let's say Jay wins. You're still going to have an opponent for Cena at SummerSlam. You got to.
Okay, then they have to go with Truth at that point.
Well, I mean,
I could see Randy Orton winning it. Because my question is, hold on. And when we were talking earlier about things that people have accomplished in their career and never done, Randy Orton has never won King of the Ring tournament.
Nope.
So if that's a notch he needs to complete on his belt before he retires, this is probably his chance to get that done. Because it won't be too long from now before he's in his final curtain call type series. So I could see them letting him win it.
I don't know, man.
He's held every title too. So,
but I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all's closing thoughts. I'm gonna get y'all's prediction for the main event for next week since Drew won't be here on Sunday. I know you got family business. Hope you enjoyed the time with family and you'll be out of town.
yeah.
So give me your guys' prediction for Cena and Punk. How do you think the match is gonna go? Do you think they're gonna cook? You think it's gonna be mediocre?
It's gonna be a great
cook. Go ahead, John.
Andrew.
I mean, it's gonna cook, but there's gonna be interference. It won't be a legit. Them two get to fight it out. Somehow there's gonna be some interference. I think Ron Killings is gonna come out and interfere.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could possibly see interference. Do I think the title is going to change hands? No, they don't do it. They don't do that too often overseas.
No, and it would make no sense. But hell, they've done a lot of shit that don't make sense this week in particular. All right, guys, I had a great time here, but we're running. And I don't want to make these shows 2 hours, even though I could sit here for 2 hours and shoot the shit, talk with you guys. I want to thank you guys once again. My main man, John freaking Niff, and the underboss himself, Mr. Wonderful, Drew, joining us for another wonderful episode. Again, Drew probably won't be here next week, which, I know, Drew, you're kind of a big hit with people's. I don't know if you knew that, but you're kind of the mascot for Main Event Mafia podcast, my guy.
Hey, I'll take it. Take it while I can.
You're our analytics guy, and John's kind of like our, he's like our Teddy Long in a sense,
Holla, holla, holla.
But I love you guys so much. This show means the world to me, and guys, I'm exhausted. I have been up since 5 a.m. So I am exhausted, but I wanted to get on here because it's the only day that I was going to have free. But, I had a wonderful time regardless. Once again, thank you, John. Thank you, Drew, for joining me. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that follow button on Spotify. Share it around, guys. Any way you can helps. Comment, share, do all you can to boost it up for us. We're going to do this probably every Saturday unless a pay-per-view, then we'll do it Sunday. And 2 night pay-per-views, it'll probably just have to come out the night after the paper or whatever. We'll figure it out as it goes along. But we love you guys. Thank you guys for watching episode 4, and we hope you enjoy. I gotta go over here. Oh no, it's right here, y'all. And